Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this June 6th day, D-Day, 80-year anniversary here. Kudos to the brave men, young men there that crossed Normandy, stormed Normandy beaches 80 years ago today. Okay, got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez. He's supposed to be here. I haven't seen him yet, but, I'm sure he'll come popping in here at some point here. Interesting story out of L.A. The Lakers, who was it? Dan Hurley. They're going after Dan Hurley there. The Connecticut coach. Now, that's supposed to be who they're zeroing in on now, but nothing confirmed whether or not he's going to take the job. He's in talks. I think that's kind of odd, but we'll talk about that as well. And I'll go over this week's biggest stories with Carlos. But I thought that was pretty interesting considering the fact that J.J. Redick was reported all week as being the favorite. It's just, again, I think that's it's kind of like Jenny Buss, whichever side of the bed she wakes up on, Either way, let's take our first and only break, and hopefully the Mad New Yorker will show up here. We don't have a show tomorrow, so we had to do this today. Won't have a live show. I'll give you a replay there, so make sure to tune in just in case you may have missed something there. But let's take our first and only break, and I'll be back here in 49 seconds here on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then, I'm back here live and I'm going to add in the Mad New Yorkers coming in from downtown there. Okay, since the game's going to come on here in about 30 minutes, who do you like in game one and why? Anything particular that stuck out with you?
I think this is being a first game. I think it's going to be the closest game from the two. Yeah. And it's probably going to be like a 6 to 8 point difference.
Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe this might be the first one. The Celtics might win the first one, but I think Dallas will win the rest of the series.
Okay. Yeah. The Celtics, they typically play game one really well at home. Coming off that long break there. I can see that. Although the fact that Dallas has had a week off too, I mean, the Celtics had 9 days off. Dallas has had basically a week, 6 days without playing. I feel like this will be a really good game. This is going to probably be a 5-point game, but I like Dallas to win it. But we'll see. I mean, I thought the Pacers would win game one, and Jaylen Brown hit that crazy three, if you recall, and got them in overtime, and they ended up beating the Pacers there.
Yeah, what I'm gonna hate about this game is that everybody's gonna be excited because this game is gonna be good, right? So
it'll be really intense.
It's not really gonna set the tone for any team, I don't think. It's just the first game. Everybody's just gonna play out of their minds, and there's gonna be a lot of runs going back and forth, but I don't feel like this game will set the tone for the series at all. I think it's gonna be Dallas, and there might be 2 or 3 close games.
Yeah.
But
so Porzingis is not going to change he's supposed to play tonight. No minutes restriction. Is that putting anything on your prediction?
I mean, he's not the difference maker on that team. He doesn't help that team if he doesn't go in and play better than what he's played before. I'm not a big fan of Porzingis anyways.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that Tatum and Brown have to like play better than they have. They both need, like I said, I think they both should get 30 points each.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Like if I'm Boston, that's what I want out of my two players. Like both of them getting at least 30 points plus each, and then and then the rest of the bench making 10 to 20 points depending on who you are, what number you come out off the bench. So that's, if I'm the coach, that's what I want. Like if only one of them gets 45, 50 points, that's not going to matter. So
yeah, you never know.
Look at Pickles, he agrees with me.
Well, he's you never know about Porzingis, and
it's the thing. He's not consistent. He's not a power player. He's very he's more style, more European and shooting. And it's like you're not using your assets, bro. So it's like
he needs a hub around that paint. I don't think he will, but this will be a tight game. I'm thinking 106-101 Mavericks, but you're right. It's going to stay right within. There'll be runs and stuff made in this game.
I don't think he'll pass 90 points.
You think the defenses will really be that amped up?
I just think they're going to shoot a lot and they're going to miss a lot. So you might see some of these guys with like 10 plus boards. Like 2 or 3 players get 10 plus boards tonight if they want the ball. But you know how Boston is. They have to they when they get behind, they start shooting and they're not consistent. So
they try to shoot their way back into a game, and
where Luka and Kyrie usually attack the basket when they're behind. So
it's really hard to tell. And I tell you what, though, that week off really helped a guy like Derek Lively. I'm sure his neck was bothering him. In that last game with Minnesota, I think it was his first game back. Remember, he had a neck sprain. Mm-hmm. The big man there for Dallas, who's playing great for a rookie, man. How seasoned is he? So so you're saying Boston wins game? Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I think they only win 2 games. That's it. I don't think Boston can pull out more than 2 games in this set. I don't. Yeah. So.
I forgot did you say? Mavs in 6-2?
Yeah, I think. Mavs in 6.
Okay, that's what I said. And my guest yesterday, Jeffrey Deskovic, thinks Mavs in 6 as well.
Oh,
Part of me does hope I'm wrong. I'd hate to see Kyrie get another ring, but I do like Luka, Jason Kidd, that group there. I wouldn't mind seeing them win there as well. I don't like really either of my picks.
I would rather have Boston win for Tatum's sake, for him to solidify himself as a.
You get looked at in a different.
Yes,
you're in a different class when you win, dude.
Right, and but he has to do it for him. He has, like we talk about it, and I've mentioned before, he has to do it himself. Nothing's gonna come. If he becomes passive and semi-aggressive, they're not going to win anything. He's not going to, and if here's the thing, if the Celtics go down and he's scoring 35, 40 points a game, then I'm going to be like, you didn't, the other co-par who got such and such more money didn't, he didn't play up to his game either. So, it's just so, like we mentioned, man, it's just so frustrating because you want to see competitiveness.
You could see right. That is true. Yeah. But the flip side is they as a team over this run that they've been together, him and Jaylen Brown, they have played team basketball. They do pass the ball around. They seem like a team in general. They don't. It doesn't now. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems like they genuinely have team chemistry. Like each other. A lot of these guys have played together for several years here now. I know Marcus Smart has moved on, but it seems like his thing was built the right way, homegrown. And for the most part, I guess you could say that about Dallas, really, other than losing Brunson. Right. A lot of those players are homegrown, adding in, obviously adding a piece here and there, but your core guy's been was drafted. It's not a super team. Neither team's a super team, you know.
No,
So, you know,
and like you said, kudos of those both GMs and those teams to support the strategy, to support the coaches, to support the team, and to make it a effort that has gained dividends, right? Like, you know, and you said it. It's not a super. There's no super team, on that court, and you know, it's good to see esprit de corps. It's good to see the teamwork, but it's terrible basketball in general when the top players are not being as competitive or not consistent, and you just, you know, because I would say less than 10, even 20 years ago, you wouldn't see that from Kobe. You wouldn't have seen that from
Jordan or
no, not even if you go, you don't have to go that far. Like Paul Pierce, like you wouldn't have seen that.
Wade.
Wade like those guys would have still been like, I'm gonna do what I can.
I still like teams that get good assists though. You know?
I mean, so you know, I don't know. Like, I just
I
want.
don't like too much one-on-one basketball. I like one-on-one if it's a one-on-one game, but if it's a team game,
let's see how this series goes and see if it doesn't go the way we're thinking it might go. And if it doesn't, then that's better for us and for all the people viewing basketball, right? Because it's right.
They pass more though than I thought they would in Dallas. Those bullet passes by Luka. I mean, he's got some joker in him. You know, those touch passes. You know, those little bullet perfect passes. He's got some quarterback in him as well. So I think it's gonna be a great game. Bill Neville. It could be, Celtics go up early, hit a bunch of threes, and then seesaw back down. That's typical Celtic basketball because they'll keep shooting them. You know, they'll just they'll build a house, you know, and then they'll keep shooting them, want to build another house. I'm like, no, man, get the ball to the rim.
It just reminds me of rec league ball when you're like, you know, you don't have no bigs, you don't have any bigs on your team, and your coach is like, just shoot it.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, and I'm from the school, just get to the rack if it's not falling from three. Get to the rim. That's why I really like guys like Wade, you know.
Yeah, or at least get the rebound. At least try to get the ball back. Like one or the other.
Yeah.
You
know? Man, I got switching gears here. What's kind of crazy? You know, I told you, talking about this for the last few weeks with the Lakers not having a coach here in like a month. And I'm surprised that they've had the success that they do. And I tell you, it's whatever side of the bed that Jenny Buss wakes up on. All week it was JJ Redick. Or last 2 weeks, JJ Redick. And then yesterday, this morning, Dan Hurley. Now it's Dan Hurley from Connecticut. And I'm thinking, whoever she talks to last is which way the reports are, it's supposed to be a massive deal, you know, massive deal. And I like how ESPN, they like public relations for the Lakers. They said, well, LeBron, he put something out on the X post about Dan Hurley, and I went back and looked at it. That was back in the tournament. It's not like he's putting out something now. I love this guy. What are your thoughts on that whole situation, the way this thing's being played out?
My opinion is this. I'm as much as I know the Lakers need a coach, I know for a fact that Dan Hurley is one of those guys who is very like how can I say? I'm not gonna say predictable because he's not that predictable because he has moved to different universities to try to make a name for himself and get better and as far as position wise to try to get closer to the tournament, right? To win a tournament.
Yeah.
And now that he's in Connecticut, I don't think he'll leave there for the next 5 to 10 years, to be honest with you. And I say that because he is like his father, like his brother. He likes to coach. If you get into the NBA, you're not going to coach. You're going to be a scapegoat if you go to the Lakers, if anything, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you pay somebody if that's what that job entails. Why would you go there? Like, no matter how much you get paid, and if you I mean, if you like the money and that's that's your thing, like fine, go. And I wouldn't change my opinion about him if he did take the money and he went to the Lakers.
Yeah.
But it would kind of be bothersome to me. Be like, yo, you went to Connecticut, you made a team up there that's doing well. They're listening to you. You're changing it. You're changing the idea of you brought championship mindset there. You're changing the idea that Connecticut is going to still be a national program, and now you're leaving like for LA where you're not. What can you do in LA? Like that's what I would be if, as somebody who's coached the team in different levels, like even if you go little league or even like high school, that's the main question. Is like, what can you as a coach do for that team? What can Hurley do for that team? If you think you ask that question, and he asks that, what can I do? If LeBron's there, he could be a negative or he could be positive. If the media there, they could be negative or positive, mostly negative until they start winning, then they're positive.
Oh yeah, there's no way. Even if it's just for a year or two.
And then you have the owner. Is that a negative or positive situation? So there ain't that many things that say that, except for the money, that say that that's a good situation to be in. Yeah. I mean, and as much as the numbers and the money scream out at you, that's not going to pay for all the stress. It's not going to pay for all those days that you by yourself thinking, how can you change this team or the team don't listen to you? Like that's not money is great to buy things to make you feel better in moments, but they don't make up for the whole thing at the end of the day, I bet you can't remember the last big thing you bought that made you happy and kept you happy. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So and these people, they're cultural, they're like work ethic. What's up, guys? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like sorry about that. So like that's the thing with the Hurleys. Like I'm sure they'll think about the money thing, but if there's nothing there for them to be better as coaches and for them to better the team, why would you make that move?
Yeah, and it's Bobby Hurley's brother.
Yeah, it's his brother. Yeah,
it's his brother, and
his father coached in New Jersey. He used to coach at Catholic school in New Jersey. So for like 30 years, for like a long time.
I don't. Paul Pierce even said it, man. He said that I don't think this would work out. It's the way they warm up in college versus pros, the sprints, the suicide. They do a lot of stuff in college they just do not do in the NBA. And players, can you imagine him looking, and this guy's a stickler for details.
Right.
Getting on this young player, Austin Reeves or somebody, about getting back on defense. And then the film, they're watching LeBron over here take 5 minutes to tie his shoes there because he's trying to rest up. And LeBron's guy's going in for a layup. At this age, and of course, supposedly reports are LeBron said to I watched this morning, he told him, hey, listen, don't worry about me. Just get a coach for the future. But I'm thinking to myself, but you got a lot of older players there. Anthony Davis is an old 32 or whatever. LeBron's 40. Who else you gonna build the team around? Austin Reeves, or whatever you can do this summer with the veteran. I don't know, whoever they could get, Trae Young or somebody. He would be a good fit for like a Victor Wembanyama. Say if I forgot the clown's name that coaches the Spurs now, Popovich retires this summer, and he would be good to get a guy like a Victor, a young second-year player from France, not an American player who really wants to grow and be and win. I could see it working out there. Young players, draft picks, somebody, and get a guy like a Darius Garland to offset that and really do the Lakers. That's like a bad. Look how long this job was available. May the 5th, dude. It's June the 6th. This is one of the most valuable franchises in all of sports. They're like fourth. You know, they're up there with Dallas Cowboys and Yankees, man. Manchester United in the whole world.
Yeah, and that's another.
And they can't find a coach.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like Hurley being there, even if he's in Connecticut, at least there's other teams that there's eyes on, like Duke and UNC, and there's other big, Power 5 schools that will get just as much recognition because it's NCAA. But when you're at the Lakers, man, you're the top of the heap. You're going to be scrutinized. You're going to be under the magnifying glass. Like, people are going to be saying things whether they exist or don't. Like, things just come up. Things are just made up, like in Lakerland. So, which is like being in New York. So, I don't know if you need that extra stress if you're going to be a coach there. That's why a lot of guys are like, I don't know, like, there's LeBron, and then there's, the rest of these guys, and then, if I'm the coach of the future, then, like, what is it that, what is it going to bring to the table? What are they bringing to the table? Because it's not an easy transition to get into at all.
My first NBA job would not want to be coaching a guy like a LeBron at this stage in his career. He didn't even want to be coached by Spoelstra. And Wade had to talk him into that's why he didn't stay there long. Yeah, I know that they had some older players, but he didn't like that tight structure that the Heat put on them, and that maybe they could have won more championships there. But he's just that guy. He doesn't like to be coached really hardly at all. I do like the fact that he does like JJ Redick. I think he likes Redick because Redick's like former player like a Ty Lue who will tell him to get back on defense. Pretty close to age, still has some respect for Ty Lue, because he was a former player. That's why I think he liked Redick. Remember Redick jumped all over Perkins because on First Take or whatever, because Perkins was saying that the voters were going to try to give the Joker another MVP because he's white, and Redick struck back at him. Perkins is a big guy, Kendrick Perkins, and LeBron saw that, and he's like, yeah, I can respect that. Plus, the guy went to Duke. He's a high basketball mind, but he has no coaching experience. But that tells you how bad the NBA is with some of these American players where the culture's so set in. It's so set in for the Players League. There's no respect.
Bob,
like Dangerfield would say.
Press the brakes a little bit. Sometimes it's it's unfair to like be putting everybody in that basket. There's players that work hard. Tatum works hard. He has
Tatum, yeah.
And there's been players like Kobe. There's players that work hard.
Kobe was not coachable, dude. You had to have a psychologist like a Phil Jackson.
And then they had
you should read Phil Jackson's book. Kobe's the worst example of that.
Yeah,
he was checking himself into games and stuff.
I'm talking about as far as like work ethic and working out and trying to stay.
Oh, okay. That's just about like not wanting to be he was really tough. He's like the poster boy for checking himself in games, not wanting to be coached, stuff like that.
He was a different mind, period. So I mean, like there's some cats out there, and unfortunately, there's less cats. There's more people who it's more of what you're talking about than there is of what. And then the Europeans are bringing a different culture to the NBA.
They're respectful, man. I mean, they are respectful toward the league, and you're right, guys. That I do like Tatum. Yeah, that's what I said. Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they have a good culture up there.
And you got to understand one thing too. Like, as much as they're over there playing, all their 15, 16, 17-year-olds, they want to come here to these universities. They want to come to these camps. Yeah. They want to come here. They ain't worried about what's over there.
Yeah.
Like, so we still need to have a little bit of pride. And right now the U.S. basketball is still number one. Like, and it's changing, and it's, and there's a little bit of, things going on that there's a change coming around, but them over there, they still want to come here. The
money's still here.
They still want it. Yeah, and that helps. To believe me, because the culture's so
massive here.
Because the culture's so because it's so much about AAU and sneaker deals. And like there's a lot of
what can I do for me?
Yeah. There's a lot of that, but at the end of the day, them peoples, no matter what other continent they on, they still want to come here because basketball's number one here. Like, we got to remember that. So, but that's why to people like us, people in the media, it's a frustrating, very like, like, come on, why can't these games be better? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's so.
Well, Edwards has a good attitude. He's an American guy. I think once LeBron gets out of the league, I think a lot of this stuff is going to change. I do like a lot about the guy, but he's brought that negative persona, and it didn't start with him. There's guys like Kobe. It's always been a player's league to a certain, but I think the disrespect of coaching has gotten so bad. It's like at a catapult. But some of those guys, they're just.
How about this, Robert?
They're just more respectful, man.
How about this? How about the greed and the love of money for owners who and corporations that benefit from basketball? That has gotten this game in a riff. Like and that's why people from Europe, people from coming from different places are making are bringing a little bit of culture of what it used to be a basketball player, bouncing the pill on the concrete, working your way up to trying to get into the league. Like, there's some, discrepancies here and there, but we gotta understand that money it begets more money, and that's what the league has caught on to, instead of players making the leagues better. And I think that works on almost every sport now here in the United States, which is kind of sad, but we'll get back there. But this is still number one place to be, man. Remember that.
Well, yeah, it is. But
I'm
saying two different things. I'm saying that the culture of the players, because that, like you said, with the sneakers and all that,
come out of Rucker Park.
About the individual. If this was boxing, it wouldn't be no big deal because it's an individual. Boxing, golf, excuse me. That's different. Tennis. But when you're a team, you have to deal with your teammates. You cannot be all about that one person. And I tell you what, it would help if the owners and Adam Silver would press to put the players through college more, so they can be more skilled, so they can be more coachable. At least the foreign players listen to coaching. Luka's trying to play defense now. He has lost weight.
Jokic didn't go to college. Luka didn't go to college.
I'm saying
Kevin Garnett didn't go to college. College is but
the European pride, and even college. There's guys. National people are talking about this too. He's saying the European players are more. They're more respectful. They're more skilled, and that's because they have pros earlier. Right. How we combat that? We could use college, because our semi-pro system sucks. Let them get back the 3-year deal out of college. They can still get the NIL. They can learn the fundamentals of basketball. It take coaching better. It was better. The players are more respectful, say 40 years ago, than they were now when Jordan first came in. With Magic and Bird.
They had the Detroit Pistons beating up on anybody and everybody. They had in Boston they give out Mikal, and he'd get black eyes, and Larry Bird would get kicked and hit in the ribs, and he had a back problem.
Well, the game itself was more. They got away with more Bush League play, but the coaches were. I still have hope, and I still have some faith, because I could see the best players have become European. Your MVP, Joker, your likely Finals MVP could be Luka, and of course Tatum played for Coach K towards the end of his career. Coach K turned it. I read something today. He turned down $8 million a year 20 years ago to coach the Lakers. But if Dan Hurley takes this job, that's the NIL issue that's bothering him. That it's not because Lakers are a great job. It's because the NIL issue with college sports is getting out of control. I spent way too much time on this topic, but anyways, sorry, man.
It's all right.
Yeah. Let's see what else we had here. What do you think about Justin Jefferson breaking the bank for Minnesota, man? Highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
I don't think that's going to stay long because CeeDee Lamb's holding out for a bigger payday, and I don't know if the Cowboys want to give him that payday. Like, I mean,
he's wanting to hold out for like 35 instead of 34.
I mean, he wants it, but I don't know if the Cowboys, if they do that, then that's detrimental to the team as far as being able to move around players and be able to stay in that playoff position, man. You can't pay everybody top money.
Yeah.
If you right, you'll see now after this year, San Francisco is they're gonna, that team's gonna blow up. So that's gonna happen to Cowboys if they sign CeeDee Lamb too, because they're already gonna be paying Prescott and they're gonna,
So you don't think they should have gave that kind of money to Jefferson?
Well, Minnesota don't have nobody. Who else are they paying top money? They don't have a QB that they're paying top money to. They don't have a running back they're paying top money to.
No.
They got about a few defensive players they're giving like top. I wouldn't say top money, but they're giving pretty good pay to. But other than that, they were afforded to once they moved Cousins off the books, that opened up a whole nother nest egg for them to pick off of. So, but not all the teams have that situation going for them.
Yeah.
And so Minnesota, he's sitting there and he's going to look pretty in that money bag, but they ain't going to get no championships.
Yeah, they have more holes. I mean, you could get 4 or 5 players for this guy, including 2 first. Tyreek Hill got a first round and a second round pick. I did some study. This a little stats the other day on him. Jefferson missing 7 games was second in the NFL in receiving.
How crazy is that, right?
Since he's been drafted, missing 7 games. You got Jordan Addison there, TJ Hawkinson there. Yeah, you do have McCarthy, JJ McCarthy, who's on a rookie contract. You could definitely squeeze that. But you can move this guy, get 2 first-round picks, a second, a third, and maybe a future 4th. And not only could you use it for those players, fill out your roster, you can move those picks to get a bigger need from another team who may be wanting to move off a player. For example, like a 49ers trading with the Commanders to get Trent Williams, the left tackle there, major left tackle. Move picks like the Rams did, go out and get a Jalen Ramsey-like player from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Get one of these struggling teams who want to hit the reboot button on a great player who wants another contract, Roquan Smith level player there. But they're looking at it, and I noticed the owner said, well, he's earned it, blah, blah. I'm thinking, yeah. The owner wants to look in the stand and see 20,000 little 8-year-olds with those Justin Jefferson jerseys on. And break up the money that way.
It's like I said, you got to – sometimes these owners go jersey chasing.
More about selling tickets and merchandising than it is actually winning football game, getting to the Super Bowl perhaps.
And mind you, they're gonna make this payment to this guy, sign him and everything, and they become one of those more competitive. They're gonna be hoping to be competitive against their division, which includes the Detroit that's on the up, Green Bay that's kind of on the up. And so
the Bears have got a flood of talent,
Yeah, and I feel like this happens every year. We're hoping that division becomes ultra competitive, and then it becomes ultra done because of injuries and ties. Come on, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a good thing.
You think Dallas will play CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't think so? Jerry Jones pays everybody. Jerry Jones will fork out $35 million.
I don't. If I'm the Cowboys and I want to win a championship, I don't.
No, you know what? If I just drop into the Cowboys as their general manager, I could possibly try to move him to get another first round pick to move off Dak at the end of the year. You know, get the Georgia quarterback, supposed to be really good next year. Maybe Schroeder Sanders will give him a workout. Deion's son, who's playing at times, look really, really, really good, smooth, cerebral at Colorado. One of those players, because you've already hit your ceiling. Now they're talking about maybe Dak Prescott, $60 million. I love Dak as a guy, but is he worth $60 million a year to be practically the highest paid quarterback because he's the last paid quarterback? According to Jerry Jones, yeah, they'll pay him. They're going to pay him 60. I know how Jerry is. He never once admits he's wrong about anything.
I don't know. I don't know how he's so good in oil business, but he's just terrible in NFL.
You're right. You can't be a jack of all trades, you know. So
you just stick to commodities and leave the
stick to commodities, man. And also, so what do you think about this Caitlin Clark thing? I mean, so she gets mugged over the weekend.
Let me. I'm gonna say two. It's kind of like two different things going on here, though.
Yeah.
Psychologically and even with the physical abuse. Like, one is that she coming into a league like that's supposed to be better, like from college. Yeah. It's supposed to be better.
It's a step up, yeah.
It's supposed to be a step up, and theoretically, and most people know that they watch WNBA. It's not that much different than women's college, but it's not. It's just the difference is that some of these good players get moved around more often because when they see them in college, they all kind of play together and they don't move until they move, until 4 years. But how ridiculous is that? And how I feel that's very catty and disrespectful because I'm not going to compare Caitlin to Jordan as far as the type of player she is, but I will compare the situation. So when Jordan came in the league and he was
the hype on Jordan,
and he changed the pay structures, he changed the shoe deals, he changed everything, and they was beating him up because they were, first of all, he was on a team that was getting rebuilt. So they didn't protect him until they found people to protect him. And another thing, and then that's the first thing, right? So she's brought the league. Now there's a different. Now tickets are selling. Now they're flying in they're flying better situations. They're flying charter. Some of them are getting shoe deals other than hers. Like there's a lot more sponsorship money out there for them. Why are you beating her up? Like. That makes no sense. Like you're not gonna get anything out of it, and she's not gonna get anything out of it either. Now, on the flip side, she needs to hit somebody in the face, break the nose, and be like, "You ain't gonna hit me," because if her team ain't gonna back her up, she got to be able to back herself up.
Well, I was saying earlier this week. I believe that this has got so much attention, that guys like Mike Golick are saying, "Where's her enforcer?"
Right.
That's what I'm thinking over the last few days. If LeBron doesn't want to play for Dan Hurley, with the society we live in, can't he just say he's a woman and go play with Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark, he's a big fan of Caitlin Clark and LeBron. They could dominate the WNBA for 3 years and bring in Bronny there off the bench. I think it would be a great move. He could be the enforcer at 6'8", 240. None of these women are going to challenge LeBron.
No, but
I'm just saying he really likes Caitlin Clark.
And I heard two things from two professional players, one a female professional player, and one a male professional player. And the first one was Nancy Lieberman. She was like, she was on the practice squad.
He did say that. Yeah, I heard Nancy Lieberman.
She was on the practice squad with the Lakers, and they was being rough. They were roughing her up a little bit, and then she stood up and she went and she popped a couple guys. She got up and they left her alone afterwards. So and they were like, and then the coach was like, that's it. You can't hit her no more. Like she's and so they backed off. And then oh my God, what's this guy's name that went after the coach, Derek Fisher? What's Barnes? Matt Barnes. He made a statement about how that team is ridiculous for not backing her up, for not having her back, even if they don't like her, even if they don't want to be around her, because that's what team does.
You don't think her own teammates like her?
They don't if they're not protecting her, if they're not picking her up. They don't even pick her up after she falls down on a regular leg.
Now you really got me wanting to check out the WNBA.
Now, like, so, and that's catty. Again, that's catty and that's punkish. And and I don't want to be disrespectful to women like that in the sense, but I'm talking about players individually who don't do that and don't want to stick up for somebody that's not on the team. Like, because the number one thing is like you can only do so much for yourself, but you gotta help each other out. And this is a league that was only getting better. And now you're making it stand still. And now you're making this whole whole dramatic thing, dragging it out where people don't want to watch it. Like, and that's not good. That's not good for the game. It's not good for the growth, and it's not good for you. The whole time, women are like, we should get paid like men. We should get treated better than men. Like this and that. And now you got that opportunity, and you just flushing it down the toilet. Like you can't.
Don't you think that I said this Monday?
It can't work both ways.
A lot of the pros, and I'm talking about the men's game now, and then other sports. You're going to school when Reggie Bush, he had even going back when we first started, LeBron coming out, so much hype. Reggie Bush, mad hype on Reggie Bush coming in. Isn't there the welcome to the new league rookie? We're not going to roll out the red carpet for you.
But to what point?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think she's going to eventually get her speed down. Her teammates are going to buy in.
Do you really honestly think in the women's game that the NCAA is that much lower than the WNBA? Like, you think there's let's just say it's a few things that are different. Maybe coaching and your team and team.
They look a little thicker. I mean, Diana Taurasi's still playing.
I know.
She's pretty thick girl.
But what I'm saying to you is, like, how much do you think is a step up level from NCAA women's basketball to WNBA? And because in men's NCAA, the difference is so high not because these guys are faster and stronger, but because the coaching is different. The culture is different. Like I want to know.
That knocked her down. She looked pretty strong. Chandler or whatever her name is. She looked pretty thick,
I mean, women get older and gain more weight. And
I did like the fact that they were doing like rolling defenses on her. They were putting some NBA like defenses on. She only had 3 points in one game.
Another thing I was going to mention too is that Caitlin Clark had
one retired NBA. Rick Mahorn would fight anybody for the Pistons. They just had guys for days that would just go at people, man.
Caitlin Clark wasn't playing championship basketball her whole college career. That's another thing that we forget to talk about. Like, she played at Iowa, and they were competitive in their own like.
She would have been better if she would have went to Connecticut. I would have hated it because they would have dominated.
Right. Or like even if she played in the Pac-10, because they play a little bit different too. Women's basketball. Let's keep it to what it is. So it was only in the last 2 years that Iowa was competitive and in playoff situations. So had she been playing in playoff situations from the get, it would have been different. But she didn't. She went to a smaller school, and the school just started. She was on it, and she was the best player on that team, and she was the one picking people up. Where if all these players come from Connecticut, from Stanford, from Tennessee, like these women, all of their players were top-rated players in the nation. So she wasn't playing with those kind of teammates.
And she's playing with a team that had the number one pick too. Indiana Fever are pretty bad. Right. Pickles wants it to be more like hockey. Just have a bunch of fights. And
it's not even
I tell you what, it'll keep me busy during the summer. Between WNBA and the Big Three. It's
not about the actual like fight. It's the mentality behind. Like, and I thought like they would actually help her out more because they're being appreciative, but they just can't. It's this catty attitude and mentality. Yeah. Like, okay, fine, welcome to the WNBA. You beat up on her, get over it, right? She's better than everybody because she got paid more than in college. That's all she's proven, that she was better than that in college. Now she's in the WNBA. You know, she's gonna have to.
I think it all work out though, man.
Oh yeah, give it time. Give it time. Don't. I mean,
Yeah.
she still got the quickest shot. Like right now that I've seen, man or woman. Like so, you know.
So you're saying don't shut her down or anything?
No, I mean you.
Yeah.
As much as you know, look. Just play the game, right?
Yeah.
Just play the game. And if you can play the game, and she gonna beat you up playing the game, then that's because you're not that good. Like
she said that, you know, she had 2 brothers, and she's okay with it. I think a lot of us are saying, she said, well, I didn't get beat up. I want to get the fouls called.
Right.
She's not saying I want to quit playing the league.
No. And I'm
Dad taught her to be tough, like a tomboy, even though she's ladylike. And I think some of that's in, but a lot of that seems to be overplayed. I think a little bit of that stuff is overplayed, you know, her being white, because Diana Taurasi's won 3 WNBA championships. She's white.
Well, I'm gonna say I might have seen maybe 2 white guys who didn't fight, but bit you back harder in playing the game, and that would be Larry Bird. I've seen him play, and guys try to beat him up, and he took it and he beat you back up with shooting. And he even called in your face, yo, I'm gonna shoot this ball, and I'm like, you know, stuff like that. And the second person who never said anything but beat you with his game, John Stockton.
Yeah, I love Stockton.
He might have got hit. You might have hit him. You might elbow him. He'll come back, and he.
Oh, I modeled my game after him and Gary Payton.
Even if Caitlin Clark does like that and doesn't want to, you know, like impose the fact that she's gonna hit you back because you hit her, like if she wants to do that, fine. But she kind of right too. Like if you hit me, fine, I'll take the hit. But she makes a point. The referees too.
So you think maybe they should just get an enforcer on there?
I mean, it doesn't.
Raptors.
You know, like enforcer or not, if you're a good player, you're gonna stand out whether somebody got your back or not. But I say this, like the coaches on the other team, the referees, like y'all got come on, man, just play the dang game. And if you want to beat her in basketball. Don't beat her up like you know what I'm saying? This ain't.
What do you think about the other storyline now? Angel Reese, she's already got suspended. She didn't get suspended. She's already been fined twice. So there's this kind of like a storyline coming here. She's kind of like the antagonist. The protagonist is Caitlin Clark. She didn't show up to a media session. She got fined $1,000.
No.
She got thrown out of a game because she waved off a ref, and he didn't like that, so he tossed her. They fined her for that. What do you think about her kind of playing somewhat of a villain role?
I think that this new draft class, and there's about 15 of them.
She's kind of cute though, Angel Reese. I kind of like that little attitude on her. There's something about her that's attractive. I just can't put my finger on it.
These 15 girls that were drafted into the WNBA this last season, there's about 15 of them. 8 of them are like really good. Like and two or three of them will probably be great. And you know she falls into that category.
Yeah.
I think it's her mentality, like, yo, like, don't bother me. I don't care for what you think. She's gonna do her. She's always been the I'm gonna do it my way type of player and personality and persona. And I think that's kind of good to have these women who have different characters and different personas. But, and it's gonna be great for the WNBA. But I think the problem is that Caitlin Clark is doing her thing over here. She's doing her thing over there, and it's like two different worlds, and they kind of need to be. The WNBA needs to kind of like keep it like controlled.
There's a lot of attitude in the WNBA.
I mean, it's
interesting though. You know,
it's supposed to be competitive, but I see it more like daddy right now, and they need to just again. If I'm a coach, you know, my focus would be on like the court. Keep everything on the court. Keep the game. Like make it. Don't play mental games. Don't get into fights. Like it's only going to take time. And like, why would you go on the court and all you're going to do is be pushing off people and like, that makes you tired and there's no basketball. Like you rather just sit down and not do anything that day. Like,
but people are going to be now that a lot of us have brought this to the attention, now I think there will be the refs keeping their whistles a little closer in. I do think the coaches, her coaching staff, they're going to be watching her back because they're getting called out for it now. You know,
I mean, and it's going to kind of like.
Or do you think they're just going to pummel her? You know, continue to beat the crap out of her?
There's going to be people. There's going to be people that are going to have that attitude, just like at any basketball game. There's going to be people that are just like they're just thugs. They're just just going to be meatheads. Like and then there's going to be people who are like rodmen who are like and picking at you, and then you when you react is when you get caught, right? So, and that's okay. Like, that happens. That can sometimes be part of the game because those people are on the court. But you want, you want it to be more.
Not to switch subjects here. Are you going to the Dodger game this weekend? They're playing the Yankees.
They're playing the Yankees. Yeah, I'm not.
If you can find a ticket, no.
Nah, I got other players. My family's in town from Tennessee. Yeah. Happy birthday to my little niece Nora. No, Brennan. Like she's in town. They're taking some.
That's kind of got some hype for a regular season. I mean, you got a lot of stars there, dude.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something. Like the Yankees are 45-19, 46-19, whatever.
Yeah. Great.
And the Dodgers, they look good, but their division is junk. So they might be a lot of stars.
They're not the Phillies, but
no. And the second thing is
he's out of trouble. By the way, he's oh God, what's his name? I can't believe a Japanese sensation.
Ohtani?
Yeah, Ohtani's good. He's good.
Yeah, I mean, look,
at
the end of the day, look, the Dodgers got maybe 3 players hitting over 250, just three, and then the Yankees got like 5 players hitting over 300. So like, I'm not saying that it's not going to be competitive.
The Braves, the injury bug just got the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, why is everybody?
I hate that about Acuna and who's it? Strider, Pickles that tore his ACL.
Yeah, let me tell you something about baseball, man, and the Braves, because it's like I always hear this from Braves fans, and I'm sorry, Braves fans, if you got to hear.
Yeah, it's all right.
Because as a Mets and Yankees fan, there's no excuse to not be in the postseason. Because the money is there being spent to get players. Now, the Braves did that. There's no excuse that you shouldn't be competitive with whoever you got on the field, because that's what it is.
A lot of baseball left.
Yeah. Plus, there's 66 games.
It's just now June.
Games left. Come on, like don't be. You can't be already out of it. Just
who's hot? Who's hot in? Not unless you're one of those really bad teams. I don't know. Some teams are out of it.
The Phillies did they did themselves a favor, and they stopped complaining, and they played baseball, and they was in the playoffs the last 2 years. They hadn't had complete rosters because they battling a lot of.
They're balling. It's early, but still, man.
And the Phillies right now got great pitching. They're like you said, they're balling.
Who wins this series this weekend, man? You think the Yankees gonna win it?
Yeah, the Yankees gonna win this. There's no question. Like. The Dodgers might sneak and play one, but I mean the Mets beat the Dodgers, and the Mets are like everybody's like, oh, the Mets are over.
Well, Pirates beat the crap out of them last night, although whatchamacallit did get a home run.
But that pitcher last night, he's a nice ski
for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man, he's
okay.
I was watching the game on replay today this morning, and I'm like, man, this. Only thing I don't want to see from this kid is his arm getting blown out. I think he needs to. His mechanics is good, but he needs to work on. He needs a coach like Tom Glavine, or he needs a coach like somebody who knows about like pitching to help him out and make sure that he don't blow his arm out, and he uses like everything that he can to stay healthy and he's gonna get a contract from some other team. Some big team's gonna pick him up, man. He's not gonna stay with the Pirates that long, I don't think. I mean, he was.
Giving us a Braves up report here.
Again, like, here's another thing too about Skis. He come from a championship team in LSU. He was on that championship team, so he comes from a championship mental winning type of atmosphere.
Nice.
So he's not going to want to stay on the Pirates either. Like it's like if he sees the Pirates are on the up, he might continue that, maybe. But if he sees,
I thought they were a few years ago when McCutcheon really started to take place, but not so much. The Pirates went to be the same old Pirates.
because and it's just a small, like those smaller.
It's been like that for 30 years. I can't believe they let go Barry Bonds. I mean, wonder what Pittsburgh fans think about that. You let Bonds go right in his prime.
They had all the players leave at the prime. They had Draybeck.
Didn't Bonilla play for that team too?
Bobby Bonilla, Draybeck, and the only one who stayed was the third baseman. What's his name? Andy Van Slyke, our second baseman.
Wow, you got a good memory, Chief.
He was the only one that stayed.
He was cold that last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, man, I mean, look, Doug Draybeck was one of the best and most underrated pitchers at that time, right? He had 2 or 3 years in a row that he was just on fire, and then
The 92, man. Anything else you need to plug?
Yeah, I'm putting a show together because the Mets are going to London. They're probably in London already. They're gonna play this weekend.
Okay.
They play.
You gonna do a show this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna
okay. I'll try to tune in. What time?
I couldn't get that guest on because, man,
I'll try to chime in. What time?
I'm gonna do it probably in the morning at 10 o'clock. I'm gonna try to do it.
It'll be 9 o'clock my time.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna try to do that. And I apologize, man. It's so difficult for me right now because
that's on Let's Talk Sports.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The LTS. And we on different time schedules, man. Like everybody in the South already enjoying summer, and we over here in the East Coast, and our kids are still in school, and they trying to wrap it up. Got graduations. Stuff like that. Like I got my other niece, Sophia. She's graduating from Weston, Connecticut.
Nice.
So everybody, it's just crazy time right now, and I'm just trying to not lose it, bro. So, championship time in basketball. And the Rangers got kicked out. That was sad. So it's crazy. It's crazy time here in New York.
Yeah, it is. A lot of good stuff going on there. Big things popping, man.
But you catch a game or two for the WNBA, watch some on replay, and then you'll see what I'm saying.
They replay them on NBA TV, right?
Yeah, and then sometimes you can catch them replay on the channel.
I see a lot of stuff on the X app. They show clips, but I do need to watch a whole game all the way.
And I mean, they do need them. One of the things, and then after that, I'll quit talking about the WNBA is they need to quit doing the games on the Saturday and Sunday schedules, because what happens is they're now then competing with the other major leagues in times, like different times and stuff. So if I was the commissioner for the WNBA, I'd have a 3-day package. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, WNBA.
I don't know. I work during the week, Chief.
Yeah, but
we gotta see Clayton Clark, ABC after the finals.
You start them games at
Eastern.
Yeah, start them games at 6:45 and get done before, and then you can still kind of catch the primetime television, and maybe it might become primetime television for all them shows that be going on break. In summer, all them shows.
Talking about, it's a big drought, man.
Yeah,
it's a big drought,
man.
A lot of streaming time stuff. So
So
all right, Carlos, appreciate you.
Yo.
We'll have Carlos back on next week. I don't know what day. Maybe Thursday or Friday. I know you kind of like to take a Friday off every now and then.
No, it's not taking off. It's just the fact that, this is a busy month for us here in New York with the schools and stuff. And I work with the kids. I work for
that's true, schools, yeah.
So, and it's tough, So, but, both of us need to nail down that schedule, man.
I got to work. Yeah, I got to work tomorrow. Yeah.
Got to make it rain over there.
Yeah. I'm putting it back into the program. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night, everybody. Go Bound,
guys. Watch some basketball games.